So yeah, I'm sure you've heard by now. If you're, if you're breathing and alive in the world, you'll know that Trump was. They took a shot at Trump. Well, a dude took a shot at Trump, and he missed. Luckily, call it divine intervention, call it whatever you want. But yeah, hey, that's good. I mean, I hate to say that. Unfortunately, he didn't miss everyone. He did kill a bystander, an audience member, and um, I think two others were injured. So, pretty sad days for that. But the intended target was not mortally wounded, so that's a good thing. I'm going to read this article here. This is a pretty capsulating article. Sorry, that kind of goes into where we're at now, what we know, all that kind of thing. So, some of the conspiracy theories that are going on in the internet right now. So, Donald Trump narrowly escaped an attempt on his life at a political rally on Saturday, July 13th, injecting fresh drama into an already tumultuous U.S. presidential election campaign. What was the suspect's motive? How was he able to open fire so close to the rally? And how might the incident affect the outcome of the November 5th election? So here's how the shooting unfolded. The rally in Butler, Pennsylvania was Trump's last before the Republican National Convention, which opened today. Trump was minutes into his speech on stage when gunshots rang out. He raised his hand to touch his right ear and looked at it before quickly crouching to the ground behind the lectern. It's funny because CNN kind of reported when they reported that he fell. He fell. No, it was a calculated duck. Okay, when someone's shooting a gun at you, it's kind of one of the first things you do. But I guess they got to kind of go with that since the other guy always falls. Then came another round of shots about 5 seconds after the first. Secret Service agents rushed to the stage to create a human shield while armed troopers took up positions around the stage. Seconds later, snipers on rooftops shot the attacker, later identified as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks. About 1 minute after the first shots were heard, Trump, with blood on his right cheek, got to his feet. He raised his fist to the crowd, shouting, "Fight, fight, fight." So gangster. Like, Trump is gangster. You got to, like, how many people are gonna do that? Like, you could see him doing it as he got up, too. He was standing still in sort of danger, too, unless the Secret Service told him that the threat was isolated or whatever. But I don't know how they could know that in that short time period. It just seemed like a very visceral reaction of Trump to get up and just, like, kind of in defiance say, like, let's go, once he knew he was okay. Agents then escorted him off stage into a waiting car with the crowd still cheering. The suspected shooter, that's the shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, worked as a dietary aide at a nursing home near his hometown in Pennsylvania. He graduated from high school in 2022, and former schoolmates reportedly described him as being quiet and who often came across as lonely. He was just quiet, but he was just bullied. He was bullied so much, Jason Kohler, who also attended school with Crooks, told reporters. Crooks tried out for the school's rifle team, but he was turned away because he was a bad shooter, said a current captain of the team who was a few years behind Crooks at the school. That's good news, I guess, that he was a bad shooter. I mean, he was about 150 yards away when he took the shot at Trump and didn't miss by much, so I don't think he was that bad of a shooter. So, just good thing he was. Look at this guy. So there's his face. This does not look like the guy, but isn't that crazy? Looks like such a baby, a goofy looking baby, but he looks like such a baby there. Surprising. This is the guy that almost started a civil war in the U.S. Very, very nuts. So they don't have a motive yet. They just know that he was shot with a AR type rifle that was registered to the father of the suspected shooter. I say suspected shooter, but let's be real. The shooter. And yeah, let's be real. Secret Service kind of just dropped the ball on this. I don't know how for one, there's a report of a few crowd members or like watchers, like from a bit of a distance, that saw him crawling around up on the roof, and they were trying to alert the police and Secret Service agents and such. And this is like I said, this is like 150 meters for you American folks, about 400 to 500 feet away. So it's not really a huge distance away. It's enough in the perimeter that you'd think that the Secret Service would have that area, locked down pretty good, but they didn't. So, of course, that's opening all kinds of speculation as to, conspiracy theories and all this nonsense that, I don't. Okay, don't want to say nonsense necessarily because I don't know yet. It's pretty preliminary, but to say that there was a setup on this, and I mean, for it to have been set up in some way, I don't know. Like it seems, I don't know. That doesn't seem like the guy you'd set up to do it, and he missed. I think if it was set up, it would have been executed better. I don't think it would have been one lone kid up on a roof. So I don't tend to think this was set up. However, some people might say that there was some awareness that something may happen and they let it happen. I don't know. There's all kinds of different speculations on different things. I'm not into that. I'm more into the evidence at hand. So either way, this was pretty sketchy. Let's see what you guys have to say a little bit in the comments here. So, okay. You ordered a shirt of him holding up his fist with the flag in the background. Yeah, that is going to be iconic. So that image of him putting his fist up in the air and the blood speared across his cheek is really just going to be the absolute iconic image of this decade, realistically. Maybe the next. It's crazy. You thought that mugshot was good. Like, man, Donald Trump is just he's picking up some good photo ops for all this stuff. I'll tell you, some long lasting stuff. Yeah. So you could hear them saying that, but how do you know it's just one shooter, right? Like, and especially in a situation like that where you're being shot at. Like, I've never been shot at. I don't think anybody here has been shot at. Anybody watching this podcast, but I can imagine being shot at. I've shot a gun. I've actually shot an AR-15, and they are an incredible gun. They're just unbelievable gun. But you can pop off a ton of rounds on that thing. So the idea that just one guy was shooting, in that hectic of a situation, for you to just know that and then just react would be, it's not reasonable to think that. So it's quite odd to see that Trump's first actions were to kind of jump back up, put his fists up, in the air like that. Like, it either shows like this crazy fight or flight reaction where it's just like a fight reaction instead of flight, or he's just fearless when it comes to that. It really is. I applaud it. But again, like I said, I've never been in that kind of a stressful situation. What else are you going to say? This is, so you think this was orchestrated completely? Wow. See, I don't think that at all. I don't know how you could orchestrate it. For one, what are you orchestrating? Like, that there's going to be shots fired. It's like if this kid missed completely, and he missed everybody, let's say it was just like a few shots into the ground or something, then I could say, yeah, okay, I could see that being orchestrated. But, or do you mean orchestrated in the way that you think that somebody took a hit on him or set up a hit on him? Yeah, it was a pretty small venue. It was about 10,000 people. So, or so, I think. So it's kind of small for his, his crowds, but you can see, like, I don't know if you can see with the with my image here, but let's see if I can I? No, I can't even spread this out. But you can look up online, just look up the venue, Trump shooting venue. You can see how far away the building was. It's not that far away. 150 meters. It really isn't that far away. It's enough of a perimeter that it should have been secured. So it's weird to say you got the snipers on the two roofs right behind, and they've got a good sight line to that building. I don't know. I can't see it being orchestrated necessarily, but because it seems, if it was orchestrated, it seems like it's so, it was amateur hour. But also at the same time, it was kind of amateur hour on the police and Secret Service a little bit. So I don't know. That's where, like, it's like the fog of war, right? It's hard to know. What are you saying there? They were stood down. What do you mean, that the Secret Service agents were stood down? Yeah, I'm with you, Joe, on that. You're saying that 5 foot women or Secret Service women are guarding a 7-foot man. Yeah, no, I do agree with that. I don't want to get into the sexist argument on this, but I've said this before. Where I want my police, and like if I'm, if I'm Trump, I want my Secret Service agents to be the biggest dudes on the planet. I'm a billionaire. I think I can afford it. I would just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna hire 6'8" plus dudes that when they stand up, nobody can see me. I'm just hiding in their chest, and they're gonna be wearing Kevlar all over the place. They're just gonna look like robots. At this point, I think he should just have armored, like just have plexiglass. Basically the same thing, like armored plexiglass or whatever they used for the Pope Mobile for a while there. Don't know if they still do or not, but yeah, I don't think he should be taking any chances at this point. Just get himself completely protected. There's no ego in it. To say like you've got to be alive to run for president. So it's kind of like the biggest thing. But yeah, you know what? Anyways, I don't know what else to say about this right now. All they really know with this kid, they just know that he was a loner. They know that he was a registered Republican. I don't know if that means anything, but he was. He's 20, so he didn't ever. The only vote he ever cast was in the midterms, which they don't tell you what he would have cast for. But if he's registered Republican, I guess he would have cast for the Republican. His father is a Republican apparently, who votes Libertarian, and his mother is a Democrat. So it's all over the place. He's given money to a Democratic left-leaning or whatever group. And so it's like it's all over the place. I don't know if this was politically motivated or what this was. Like a loner with a weird, manifesto to make himself important by assassinating Trump. I don't know. All that'll come out. Right now, they can't seem to find much of anything, except they found some explosives in his car and at home and stuff, or like explosive materials and stuff. So I don't know if this kid was just going to be like a, some kind of, whatever, anarchist or whatever. But at this point now, to me, it looks like some loser got an idea and tried to do something great, since he probably was just going to be nothing, maybe his whole life. So